Hey cats and kids, Captain Zorik here, just in case you don't believe me. And once again, we're out in front of this office building, which is the office building of my attorney, Gerald Crapell, for this illegal lockout case that I've been, and my HP case regarding my apartment, my room, the place that I am not living because of reasons that are not my fault. So, turns out, after a lot of sturm and drang and hue and cry, some of which was very much not appreciated by the judge, today was the day that the judge actually handed down his decision as to whether or not to dismiss the illegal lockout case that I had brought forth. The judge seemed very fair in his questioning, not giving anything away as to which way he was going to go on it, but was very concerned as to whether or not the illegal lockout court was the court that should be handling any aspect of my case at all. And our case was that because the owners and building management had not done what the law said they were supposed to do, which is provide means of egress, that was the lockout. I furthermore made the case that the harassment by Antonio Cook prevented me from even getting in to get my stuff, because I would have to go through him to get in. He has the keys, and so I ought to have the keys. But and so there's also the illegal lockout. But the judge, after a litany of all the things that the respondents, the lawyers for the respondents, Ron Hariri and Charlie Balvin, did that they shouldn't have done. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to stop here so that you can see the outdoor cafe here in Chinatown. Yes, I am at Canal Street once again. And after going through and describing that he actually saw the video of Antonio Cook destroying my stuff in the room, he wound up saying that the illegal lockout court is not the court that's supposed to order building owners and managers to install fire escapes. So therefore, it's not that so therefore the order to dismiss was accepted, was approved. And so, I mean, it's going to take a day or two or three for the paperwork to go through. But my lawyer and Hariri were discussing things, and they were saying, yes, Antonio Cook is never going to be in that room again. Don't worry, and things like that. And when they asked, can you settle? I said $200,000. They said $1,500 because that's all that the owner has. And besides which, they would only settle with, the judge would only allow a settlement with all the parties in the case, in that building with their own cases. And I agree with that. I'm not going to settle for an amount of money without everybody else getting an amount of money that they're happy with. But even so, the judge, he cited precedents and everything else, even that the judge should be lenient and take an open view in the petitioner's favor of these sorts of cases. But even with all that, he couldn't use his discretion to even adjourn the case to coincide with the HP case, and we don't know when that HP case is going to come back again, because we haven't. Though they say that HP cases have been returning to the docket, returning to the schedule, prioritizing those that were scheduled before March 16th, which mine most certainly was. Mine was scheduled back in February to return on March 19th, and it still hasn't. And unfortunately, the COVID shutdown started on the 16th. So, my lawyer's sending the appropriate letters to the appropriate people to figure out when my HP case is going to be, and we're also going to be trying to figure out what, I've still got the camera in my room, and what, if any, defense we can keep for my stuff, and what kind of fire we can hold the owners' feet to get them to make the building livable for me, which would simply be a fire escape or a sprinkler system. As they seem to be all married to this whole make it the way it was, make it the way it was, because they think that taking a building with 10 or more units down to a building with fewer than 6 units will take it out of rent stabilization, even though we found plenty of court precedents that it does not. So there it is. In sum, the illegal lockout case is dismissed. So we still got the HP case, but we don't have a court date for the HP case. So we just have the word of Ron Hariri that my stuff is safe for the time being, but I don't have access to it, which I thought counts as an illegal lockout, but apparently it doesn't, because that court is not the jurisdiction for resolving the case, for resolving the vacate order, which is what is locking me out. So, well, I'm in Chinatown now, and I'm going to go back up to my mom and help her finish her laundry, because she needs help with that sort of thing these days. But first, I'm going to go over to a food store and get some Chinese food for dinner for us. And then I got to get back to work. And by work today, I mean making the promo video, for the pitch video for my legal fundraiser GoFundMe thing, which is not just for me, it's also for my neighbor who is still in the building because her room is safe and legal, but she is still being harassed by Antonio Cook. And oh yeah, the judge said he saw the video. He described the video very fairly, in fact. But anywho, there were three items of fact that the judge got wrong. 2 of them were less consequential than a third, but appeals are expensive. So the 3 of them are: 1, that while I've been living there since 1993, I only lived in room 2D since 1997. I was in room 2A before that. 2, that the building had been divided into 10 units. No, the building was not divided. The divisions were already there. It's just that the rooms were then rented individually, and there were 15 of them, not just 10, until Antonio Cook went and turned 5 of them into one apartment and moved in his insurance man. And the third thing is that when I filed the order to show cause to return the case to schedule, this illegal lockout case, after the destruction of my property by Antonio Cook, and hi John, I see. I'll get to your question in a minute. I filed it pro se, but then he said that I retained representation. I did not retain representation until after my order to show cause was that the case was put back onto being adjourned. I didn't have a lawyer when I got in there, and I got browbeaten into re-adjourning the case on the theory that Antonio Cook me and Antonio Cook would only communicate through his lawyer, which turned out to not happen. So anywho, but now it's all in the HP court, and we don't have a date for even a hearing or a conference in the HP court. Okay, so isn't keeping you from your stuff just plain theft? Yep, you could say that, but it's not the illegal lockout case's jurisdiction to prosecute for theft. And heck, you'd think that the destroying of my stuff would be contempt of the court, sure, but since the case was dismissed, then there's nothing to be contemptuous of. So I got to bring this up whenever we get back into the HP court house, and there it is. Oh, and by the way, another legal person said that I ought to get him arrested. Well, the police have been pretty resistant about that whole arresting thing, and I understand that even with the COVID, such a low-level thing as criminal mischief is not worthy of arresting somebody. But maybe it's time to bring that up maybe that's the fire that I got to put under Ron Hariri's feet. There's also thought that the landlord is not long for this world, and that wouldn't surprise me, but I don't want to come to a settlement or an agreement on the assumption that someone's going to die. You know, that's not a thing to do. You know, that's not a thing to do. To assume that a place in which I live is where I'm going to make a decision based on the assumption that someone's going to die. Now, I mean, we can plan for that eventuality, but that's not a go-to. All right. So let's see. So who's all there? John, Kimberly, Mark, Kristen, Greg, Jonathan, and Quaz. Thank you all for joining me. Now, in the meantime, the website 182saga.info, info, is up. It's open. It's got all kinds of information. And the YouTube channel that's going to be called 182 Saga is, well, it exists, but there's no video content. Right now, all the video content is still on youtube.com/Captain Zorik. But I'm going to start posting those up this week, and I'm changing my positions around here so you can see the different landmarks of this particular piece of, where is that building I was looking for? Not that one. That one, yeah. This particular piece of Canal Street here. So, yeah, let me get into a food story there. Let me get some dinner for me and my mom. And thank you all very much. The fact that you pay attention to me gives me reason to keep on living. So clean up, cover up, contact your loved ones, because not everyone's going to get out of here alive. I love you all. Captain Zorik coming at you.